As a student who doesn't have the advantage of being dropped off by a family member or even living close enough to walk, I, like most students here, experience a fair struggle with parking at USC. When trying to get to classes, we often circle lots or just end up paying the high fees for limited parking. A couple of weeks ago, I left campus for an appointment, came back to the S4 lot, and to no one's surprise, the whole place was full, leading me to go to the also nearly filled AD7 3 blocks down. For context, I lived in the Horseshoe area. This and many other testimonies only back the idea of USC having objectively difficult parking. Now, tack on these issues for every new class that's growing exponentially, and it's easy to see the problem is too big to be ignored. USC's current parking solution is severely inadequate due to the limited availability, high cost for passes, and the outright exploitative practices used by parking services. To combat this issue, it's the university's responsibility to expand parking structures, adjust budget allocations, and incentivize more construction to keep up with growing classes. We can explore the causes and impacts of USC's parking issues, identify stakeholders, evaluate the university's 10-year master plan, and propose solutions to address these challenges sustainably. Putting together a solution starts by understanding the root causes of the parking crisis, that being increased enrollment and the overselling of parking passes. There's many inherent reasons parking is such a problem, like the growing enrollment of the university. With every passing year, the number of us seems to increase exponentially. Jeff Stensland of USC details in an article the rising number of admitted students here. As figures show, the number of students has only rose in the last 8 years. We now sit at over 36,000, and USC's student population has outpaced parking capacity by a lot. In regards to parking passes, the university issues more permits than actual available spaces, creating competition for very limited spots. And it's due to this that revenue-driven policies fail to account for actual parking availability. There's underlying inherent issues that contribute to the parking fiasco, such as budget mismanagement, insufficient parking spaces, lack of incentive, and just where the university lies in its urban setting. Despite generating revenue from parking fees, the university has invested minimally in expanding facilities. As per Cassie Cornwell in a 2023 article, there is ample evidence highlighting the ongoing parking issues of the University of South Carolina. One of the primary concerns is the overselling of parking permits, leading to frustration among students and faculty. In 2023, it was noted that USC had approximately 14,000 permits issued, yet the available parking spaces were only slightly more than 16,000, and this number must be shared by over 36,000 enrolled students. While USC invests in various infrastructure and development projects, there has been limited focus on expanding or improving parking. According to Padgett of the university's website, there's been recent increases to parking fees and fines, a shift to new permit styles, and new changes to ADA parking credentials. The updates are part of USC's efforts to manage campus parking more efficiently. Permits like Z-Level Surface have increased to $13.25 per month, while garage permits are now $73.33 per month. The university has also emphasized compliance with more enforcement staff on campus to ensure proper parking behavior. Given the number of people applying to USC seems to grow with the years, the rapid increase in student enrollment without corresponding expansion in parking capacity has worsened the situation. Audrey Elsberry of Carolina News and Reporter quotes Howard Duvall, a city councilman and downtown resident of Columbia, saying the university is ruining some of the finest neighborhoods in the city with unbridled growth of student population without providing adequate buildings and structures like parking garages for the students. If this problem persists, it will lead to more students and faculty either parking far away or in unauthorized spots, facing fines or delays. The same Duvall said the university is not being realistic in expecting students to ride shuttles to remote parking lots. He understands that students are going to find what's convenient and just park in the neighborhoods close by. There's also a lack of external pressure or financial motivation for USC to expand parking facilities, which has allowed this issue to persist. There's a huge problem with parking, and despite 40% of students on campus and 70% of off-campus students bringing their cars to school, it doesn't seem to be enough to get traction towards fixing it. Cornwell says the only way officials have provided a solution is for students to communicate concerns and find another way by taking advantage of other on-campus transportation. For students only living on campus for the first 2 years and commuting the last 2, they may feel the need to tolerate parking since they won't have to deal with it much longer. In the same article by Cornwell, a third-year student at the time, Sophie Dragmeyer, had a problem with parking near the band and dance building, on top of having to spend a lot of time at the facility per week. She says there's plenty of spaces, but when they park in the 2 lots that are there, they're ticketed. Even though her instructors advise her not to walk back and forth to class from another lot, she's left with no option due to the inability for the university to provide student parking passes for that lot. In 2023, the Chief Operating Officer for USC, Jeff Perkins, expected an estimated total number of 36,000 enrolled students on top of the faculty and staff to all share 16,000 parking spaces, yet urges everyone to find other ways to get around. USC's metropolitan location in Columbia constrains parking options and heightens the need for dedicated solutions within the university's control. This is also harmful to the issue since Columbia is a high-volume city and Columbia spares no expenses, using hourly meters and heavy patrol to make sure they get that money, leaving another bill for campus goers. A stakeholder is someone who has something on the line, whether it be something at risk or something to gain. And there's a couple when it comes to the issue of parking at USC. These including on-campus students, commuting students, faculty and staff, and visitors. Although they live on campus, they still need to travel around the area and often find difficulty parking near dorms or campus destinations. Their stake lies in the inconvenience of finding parking after returning from trips or errands and poses potential safety concerns in the late hours of the day. Commuters often struggle the most as they rely on parking to attend classes and participate in campus activities. Their stake is most crucial since limited parking directly affects their ability to arrive on time for classes or really do anything on campus. Faculty members also face parking challenges, which can delay their arrival to work and affect their productivity and morale. Their stake is tied to their ability to fulfill their teaching and administrative duties efficiently. And visitors, such as parents and friends, face the frustration of parking far from their destinations, which can create a negative impression of the campus. This could potentially deter prospective students and lower enrollment, affecting the university in the long term. Solvency lies in understanding that what isn't broke shouldn't be fixed, and sticking with what has worked is the best course of action. USC can turn to internal solutions and can rehire the same company used to build the current parking garages, ensuring consistency and leveraging an established working relationship. The biggest thing would be to build up, not out, and improve other transportation systems. They could approach the problem using external solutions just the same, looking to other universities facing similar urban parking challenges and contact firms that have successfully expanded parking at metropolitan campuses. USC can adopt these models to meet its own needs. Other schools, such as the University of Utah, have done this before. As per Nathan Levison of the Daily Utah Chronicles, the University of Utah has undertaken projects to expand its parking facilities in response to growing demand. Recent reports highlight how the university has focused on expanding parking structures and reconfiguring parking lots. These efforts are part of a broader strategy to address the parking challenges faced by its increasing student population and staff. USC's parking services should hold the primary responsibility for expanding facilities. This means Director of Parking and Transportation Brian Favela, as well as his board of colleagues. A successful mandate would include adding additional floors to existing parking garages opposed to building new ones, of course sticking to proper city ordinances. To fund the project, around $10 to $15 million would need to be reallocated toward the expansion. With phased construction, a good aim for completion would close the project out by the 2027-2028 academic year. It would then be the responsibility of the Board of Trustees to oversee the project planning and execution, as well as annual progress assessments to ensure accountability and transparency. The university actually has something they refer to as a 10-year master plan, which is their path to solving many problems beyond, but including the parking we've discussed thus far. This plan spans from 2018 to 2028, hence the 10-year part. For the plan, it's important to prioritize sustainable transportation methods such as improving shuttle systems and promoting pedestrian and cycling access. Adding green features to parking structures, including EV charging stations USC already has, aligns with the university's broader environmental goals. Since the master plan includes a host of improvements, the timeline for the parking doesn't seem to be specified, but is still in the 10-year span between 2018 and 2028. The university's administration has also pledged to integrate student feedback into parking policy updates and monitor progress throughout the decade. However, the project won't occur all at once, for that would cause too many holdups with on-campus operations. A phased approach ensures incremental improvements while minimizing disruptions. In the master plan, they propose adding 940,000 square feet of new parking structures. And the best use of this space is to add floors to current parking garages as it maximizes the use of the space, as well as including green elements to maintain consistency with the school's sustainability goals. As stated prior, USC can learn from other urban campuses that successfully manage parking challenges like the University of Utah, and partnering with experienced firms is good for cost-efficient, scalable solutions. Money is going to be a question in several ways, on the end of the project leads making it happen, and for students, faculty, and staff. Putting a cap on future fee increases can help avoid unwarranted financial strain, and offering discounted or free parking options for low-income students would be a tremendous help to the problem we're facing. While the project requires substantial investment, the long-term benefits, reduced frustration, improved student satisfaction, easier campus access, and enhanced reputation outweigh the initial expenses. Expanding vertically instead of horizontally minimizes ecological impact, and the aforementioned green initiatives have already been implemented and can be expanded upon. USC's parking crisis stems from misaligned priorities, insufficient spaces, and rising costs. While the university's 10-year master plan offers promising solutions, additional immediate measures are necessary to address pressing concerns. This issue demands quick analysis and action to improve access, affordability, and equity. The university will need to accelerate parking improvements through short-term interventions and long-term planning. Students, faculty, and staff should advocate for policies that prioritize accessible parking solutions to ensure a thriving campus community. In support of USC taking action upon its glaring parking problems, I made a quick skit and poem advocating for solutions and results to come from the whole ordeal. Fix the parking with coughed up cash, filled your pockets, pay enough for the cards we have, it's in the budget and in your margin, pay 30K to stay in the state, and I'm still walking. Please fix the parking, school stressful enough, we don't need extra charges, car gonna decline, reach out to departments to beg for funds, scholarships ain't enough, for lower prices, more options, that's what's best for us. Make the system better or limited, we don't need passes for parking if we not getting it. Space is taken, expand these spaces, to be most gracious, we'd appreciate it. Words without actions and spacious, we need to see the changes, release us from the nightmare that is paying parking, have a heart and let us have a break. Seriously, please fix the parking. I can never find a good, close park. I've been wanting to just not even move my car.